I don't know how else to tell you guys, but real estate is freaking boring. Nobody who's not ready to buy a house wants to see a post about a house for sale, okay? If I'm 6 months away from buying a house, or I just bought one 6 months ago, I don't care about what's for sale. I don't care about what's on the market, and I don't care about what you just posted that's for sale. This is really mean, and I'm sorry that you have to hear it this way, but people want to hear information that's relevant to them in the time that you're talking to. Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Social Marketing with Eric. My name's Eric from the Orange Stack. Today we're talking about posting frequency, right? So it's probably one of the things that I talk about most around here is what you're posting. I audit probably 20 to 25 different real estate agents' social media accounts every single week. So I've seen a lot of your stuff. Tons of your stuff, and the majority is pretty much the same. It is a house for sale, a house I just sold, coming soon. I don't know how else to tell you guys, but real estate is freaking boring. Nobody who's not ready to buy a house wants to see a post about a house for sale, okay? If I'm 6 months away from buying a house, or I just bought one 6 months ago, I don't care about what's for sale. I don't care about what's on the market, and I don't care about what you just posted that's for sale. This is really mean, and I'm sorry that you have to hear it this way, but people want to hear information that's relevant to them in the time that you're talking to. I would say out of all the followers that you have, probably less than 10% are actually ready to buy a house. Those are your qualified leads, ready to go right then and say, hey, that's the house I want, let's make a move and go. And maybe you say there's somebody who's 2 months out from buying a house and you speed up that process because you found them their dream home. That might work once in a while. But for the majority of the followers that you have, and most people that I look at have between like 200 and 500 followers, let's call it like 300 as being the average. Out of those 300 followers, 290 of them are probably not buying a house in the near future, okay? So how do you keep them engaged? How do you give them what they want to hear? How do you get feedback and comments and posts and questions back from your audience? You provide value to them in what they're looking for. So the last episode, number 9, I think it was. I had a hard time coming up with 9. Episode 9 talks about some of the things that you can post and some of the content that they're looking to engage in. And I think if you go back to episode number 1 of this series, you're going to see some more ideas of content that you can put out there for the world to see. But today we're talking about frequency, okay? So on one side of the scale, we have agents that probably post once every 2 to 3 months. Okay. On the other side of the scale, we have agents that post 5 or 6 times a day. And this is like within one platform. So where should you be? Once every couple months? Once every couple hours? Probably more towards this side of that scale, okay? So let's talk about Facebook first. We're not gonna go through all the platforms, but let's talk about Facebook first. Facebook is your friend. It is probably the place that you're gonna communicate with most of your clients most of the time because the majority of homeowners kind of fit into the category that Facebook covers. Sure, Snapchat's great, Instagram's great, YouTube's great, LinkedIn, great. Let's just stick with Facebook for a second. I think, based off what I've seen lately, that you can post on Facebook probably close to about 3 to 4 times a week and be pretty good with your audience. Again, it depends on the size of your audience. Facebook right now, for every 100 followers you have, organically shows your content to about 4 of them, okay? So if you have 300 followers, 12 people see your content. It's not the same 12 people every post, but only 12 people see it. So if you're saying, hey Eric, I post something and only 10 or 12 people comment or give me a thumbs up or a heart or something like that, that's because 100% of the people saw it, gave you a thumbs up. That's really good. You need to keep going with that type of post. However, if you post something and you have 3 or 4 or 500 friends and you get 1 thumbs up, it's not what they want to hear. Again, we're not getting into content. I'm just letting you know that this is a good way to judge what you're looking at and how many people are seeing your stuff. So whittle out the people that follow you to people that actually are probably relevant to your community. You know, get rid of the people in India and all over the world who probably aren't going to be buying a house in your community. And maybe you say, hey Eric, I sell to a lot of international buyers, people who are moving here from other areas. Great, keep your list where it is. But if you're in an area where people are moving inside your community, but you have followers from all around the world, try to get rid of those and keep it relevant to who you want to post so that they actually get to see the content that you put out there. And then maybe you decide it's worth spending a couple bucks on Facebook to get your content out to more people that you're trying to reach with within your community. More about that later. So frequency, right? Instead of just going strong on one platform 3 or 4 times a week, break it up. Take your 3 or 4 posts on Facebook Add in there maybe once a day a Snapchat post. Add in there 2 or 3 times a week an Instagram photo. Add in there a video once a week or once every other week on YouTube, right? You're mixing it up. You're communicating with the people in every different platform how they want to be communicated with. Don't try to bring people from YouTube into your Facebook community if they're not on Facebook. For example, I talk about my parents all the time on here, ironically, because they're like the most diverse 2 people on social media platforms that I know. My dad spends all his time on YouTube, and my mom spends all her time back and forth between Facebook and Instagram. My mom never goes to YouTube, and my dad never goes to Facebook or Instagram. They're both the same age, they're both in the same house, they're both the same demographic, right? Except for the male and female part of it. But the point is if you just stayed on Facebook, you're gonna miss speaking to my dad, who may be more inclined to speak to the real estate agent about selling his house. If you just talk to my mom, but you're trying to reach her on YouTube, you're probably gonna miss her because she's not on YouTube. So you gotta spread yourself out. You've gotta be writing, you've gotta be recording video, you've gotta be sending out pictures, you've gotta be communicating with the millennials who are on Snapchat who say, hey dad, maybe you should talk to this real estate agent. He's doing some great things in your area. If you're thinking about selling your house, give him a call. See what happens here? So spread yourself out, communicate in different ways, pictures, written, video, audio if you can do a podcast. Quick plug right here, if you're watching this, go check out our podcast. We do this episode on a podcast as well. And if you're listening to this episode, you're not seeing any of my crazy hand gestures here, but go check out the video. See if you like the video format as well. Either way, we're all over the place. Back to the content. So frequency matters, how often you post, where you put it, spread yourself out. I'm not going to get into what to talk about, but just spread it out. Frequency is important. If you're getting lots of engagement, keep it up. If you're not getting lots of engagement, it's probably because you're either posting too much or you're just not around enough for them to even see you, and you're just probably disappearing. Maybe you see a post once in a while from you and then that's it, and that post that you shared that day is not that interesting. So break it up. Again, don't post just about real estate. It's personal. It's what I'm doing out in life. It's restaurants that I'm eating at. It's value, value, value. Talk about the roofer that just helped you. Talk about the home that you just sold and how it helped Sally, not how it helped your pocketbook, right? So frequency matters. Go check out our previous 9 episodes of this series. If you're just coming in right now, there's been some great content. This is 11 strategies on how social media is not working out for the real estate agent. It's not how we titled it, but you get the idea. If you're in real estate and you're watching this, there's a lot of good content in the previous episodes. So play with your frequency. Go spread the love across all the platforms, figure out how you're going to communicate with your audience, and let's make the most of it. So one more episode, guys. This is the end of it. I look forward to speaking to you on the last one. Thanks for following along each week. My name's Eric with the Orange Stack. Catch you on the next one.